Thank you for tuning in to LeadDeveloper.com, where we simplify complex property development feasibilities, investment analysis, and everything real estate. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, our Google Sheets-based feasibility suite streamlines the toughest aspects of real estate. Lead Developer Feasibility Suite is trusted by thousands in over 17 countries. Our tools cover everything from quick assessments to detailed cash flow projections and more. Sign up today at LeadDeveloper.com for unlimited free access to our expanding library of real estate tools. No credit card needed. Plus, get full support through Edge with step-by-step guidance, exclusive courses, and resources designed for your success. Turn numbers into narratives that win over investors and lenders. Join Lead Developer now.
Welcome back to the deep dive. You know, we always get a ton of questions about property development.
Yeah, tons. So today, I want to get into it. We are going to do a deep dive into property development.
It's really hot right now.
Yeah, we got a whole stack of resources you guys sent in, including this ultimate guide to getting started in property development.
It's a really fantastic guide.
So we're going to kind of try to sort through,
especially if you want to go beyond just the fix and flip.
Yeah,
you know,
and help you guys kind of understand the complexities of larger scale development.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's really interesting. One of the things that the guide talks about right off the bat is like the mindset piece of it.
Mindset is huge, especially for anything entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
And it really emphasizes that property development is an entrepreneurial endeavor.
Yeah. And they even have this quote.
Yeah.
Property development is all about becoming comfortable with being uncomfortable.
I love that quote.
Yeah.
That really gets to the heart of it.
You know, you can't be afraid to take risks, but they have to be calculated risks, you know?
Right. Anything
you're going to run into so many...
What are some of the...
you know, unexpected costs and things.
Yeah. What are some of the key traits of a successful developer? What do I need if I'm going to go down this path?
I think the biggest thing is resilience.
Sure.
You know, you're going to run into so many unexpected things. Yeah, cost overruns, permit delays, things like that. Market shifts.
Oh, yeah.
You have to be able to roll with the punches and adapt.
Yeah.
Strong analytical skills.
Okay.
Being able to make sound financial decisions.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Okay. And then another interesting thing that the guide kind of criticizes, I guess, is the traditional 5-stage property development model.
Yeah, and I think it's a good point.
Yeah.
You know,
vision, concept, consultants, construction, completion.
Yeah, I think it goes a lot deeper.
Right.
Especially when you're talking about the financial side of things.
Yeah.
You know, they emphasize upfront planning.
Right.
Like really in-depth market analysis.
Yeah.
You know, having a really solid feasibility study.
Right.
And determining like your exit strategy before you even break ground.
Right. And speaking of financial feasibility, the guide really stresses that getting your costs correct is like super crucial.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot more than just buying the land.
Way more.
And paying for construction, right?
Yeah, you got your professional fees for your architects, engineers, lawyers, you know, permits, utility connections, all that stuff. It all adds up really fast.
Yeah, it's like those hidden fees like airlines tack on. You think you're getting a good deal, and then bam.
Yeah,
exactly. So you just doubled.
It can be really scary if you haven't done your homework.
Yeah.
And the guide really emphasizes that if you overpay for the land at the start, you know, that's kind of like the cardinal sin. You're building building on a foundation of sand.
Yeah.
You know?
So how do I avoid that trap?
You really need to have a rock solid feasibility study.
Okay. And what
you need to make sure
would entail?
Yeah, it's not just about seeing if you can make a profit. It's about, you know, can you actually secure the funding?
Right.
Can you cover all the costs?
Okay.
And still achieve, you know, your desired profit margin.
Right. Okay, that makes sense.
So that's what a good feasibility study should answer.
And speaking of funding,
yes,
I think a lot of people considering property development are kind of intimidated by the financing aspect of it.
Yeah.
So the guide breaks down property development loans into 3 main stages.
Okay.
Land acquisition, construction, and retail loans.
Yeah.
Can you kind of walk me through those a little bit?
Yeah, so these are quite different from like your standard home loan. So first of all, you're typically going to need a pretty significant equity contribution.
Okay.
Usually 20 to 30% of the project cost.
Wow.
And that basically demonstrates your commitment
Right.
to the project and helps to mitigate the lender's risk.
So they want to see you have skin in the game, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
They also scrutinize the developer's experience, financial stability, and the project itself a lot more, in a lot greater detail
Okay.
than they would, say, with a typical mortgage.
Right.
And the loan-to-value ratios, or LVRs, are generally lower as well,
Okay. Can you kind of
which reflects the higher risk.
define LVR for me? What does that mean?
Yeah, so loan-to-value ratio is basically the amount of money you're borrowing
Okay.
compared to the value of the property.
Got it.
So a lower LVR means you're putting up more of your own money
Okay.
and borrowing less from the bank,
Right.
which reduces their risk.
Okay.
Um,
So let's say I've, done my feasibility study, got my funding lined up,
Okay.
ready to make an offer on this piece of land.
Yeah.
The guide also talks about the importance of negotiation skills.
Yes.
Which kind of surprised me.
It's a huge part of it,
Yeah.
especially when you're acquiring the development site.
Okay.
The price you pay for the land is obviously going to have a direct impact on your profit margin.
Right.
So getting a good deal is really essential.
Okay. So it's not just about lowballing the seller and hoping for the best.
It's about the guide highlights this concept of BATNA,
Okay.
which stands for Best Alternative to a Negotiated Agreement.
Okay.
And it basically means you need to know your walkaway point.
Right.
Like, what's the price or terms beyond which you're better off just walking away from the deal?
Got it. So I need to have a clear picture of what the land is worth to me.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And sometimes offering favorable terms can actually be more appealing to a seller
Right.
than just a higher price.
Yeah. Interesting.
So, for example, like a quicker settlement
Okay.
or flexible payment schedule.
Okay.
That might be more attractive to a seller
Right.
who's eager to move on.
Right. So it's about understanding the seller's motivation and finding creative solutions.
Exactly.
Okay.
And also remember, negotiation isn't just about that initial purchase price. It comes into play, throughout the development process.
Interesting.
With contractors, suppliers,
Okay.
even potential buyers down the line.
So I need to brush up on my negotiation skills.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So let's assume I've, successfully negotiated this purchase of this piece of land.
Great.
What's next?
Okay, so next is the exciting but often daunting world of permits.
Oh, yeah.
So the guide explains the difference between a development approval, or DA,
Okay.
and a building approval, or BA.
Okay.
These are essential approvals that give you the legal right to actually build.
So can you kind of break down what each approval entails?
Sure. So a development approval, DA, is granted by the local council, and it's really focused on the overall concept of the development.
Okay.
So it covers things like land use, the density of the project,
Okay.
the height and scale of the buildings,
Right.
and how it integrates with the surrounding environment.
So making sure it aligns with the broader kind of objectives of the area.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then once you have your DA,
Yeah.
you'll need a building approval, BA,
Okay.
which is a more detailed approval that focuses on the specific construction plans and specifications.
Got it.
So it ensures that the building meets all the, building codes and safety standards.
So the DA is permission to build something in principle.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
And the BA is getting the green light on the nuts and bolts.
Yeah, the actual construction.
Okay, cool.
And the guide emphasizes the importance of understanding zoning and overlays, which are basically planning controls that dictate what you can and cannot build
Got it.
on a particular site.
Right.
So choosing a site with favorable zoning can really save you a lot of headaches down the road.
It's like choosing the right fabric for a sewing project,
I like that analogy.
If you choose a fabric that's too delicate,
Yeah.
you're gonna run into problems when you start sewing.
Absolutely, yeah. Choosing the right site for your project is crucial.
Yeah. Okay. I've got my approvals in place.
Okay.
I'm finally ready to start building.
Right.
But the guide stresses that I don't actually need to be a builder myself.
Correct. Yeah, you don't have to be, a master carpenter or electrician.
Okay.
But you do need to understand the construction process.
Okay.
So the guide breaks down, different types of construction contracts.
Okay.
And the pros and cons of each.
Yeah. Can you give me a quick rundown on those?
Sure. So one common type is a fixed price contract, which offers more certainty up front because the builder agrees to a fixed price for the entire project.
Right.
However, it can be less flexible if unexpected issues arise during construction.
Right. So if you encounter unforeseen problems,
Exactly.
then you might end up in a dispute.
Yeah, about who's responsible
The builder.
for those additional costs.
Right. Okay.
Another type is a cost-plus contract,
Okay.
where the builder basically charges you for their actual costs,
Okay.
plus a pre-agreed markup or profit margin.
Okay.
This can be more adaptable because it allows for like changes and unforeseen expenses.
Right.
But it also carries the risk of cost overruns if the project scope expands
Okay.
or if material prices increase.
Right. So it sounds like each contract type has like its own set of risks and rewards.
It does, absolutely.
So how do I choose which one's right for me?
The guide suggests you carefully consider your risk tolerance and how much control you want to have over the budget.
Got it.
So a fixed price contract offers more certainty but less flexibility, whereas a cost-plus contract allows for more adaptability but carries more financial risk.
Okay. And the guide also emphasizes that choosing a reputable builder with relevant experience and appropriate insurance.
Huge.
Huge.
Super important.
Yeah, it's not just about getting the lowest bid.
Right.
You want a builder who understands your vision, who has a proven track record of delivering high-quality work.
Right.
And who carries the necessary insurance to protect you in case something goes wrong.
It's like choosing a surgeon,
Exactly.
You wouldn't just pick.
You wouldn't go with the cheapest option.
Right.
You want somebody with experience and expertise.
Yeah, totally.
So yeah, choosing the right builder is one of the most important decisions you'll make.
This has been fascinating.
Yeah, it's a lot to take in.
We covered a lot.
We did.
I don't want to overwhelm our listeners. Yeah, it's a lot.
But before we jump into the next part of the deep dive, which is going to cover the exciting world of marketing, we're going to take a quick break.
Sounds good.
Okay, so let's shift gears a little bit now and talk about something that I think is often overlooked in property development.
Definitely.
Which is marketing.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize how important that is.
The guide really emphasizes that. Marketing isn't just about like slapping a for sale sign up once the building's done.
Right, yeah.
It talks about
it starts way before that.
The power of pre-sales.
Yeah, pre-sales are huge.
And how they've actually become essential for securing bank financing.
Absolutely.
So what's the reasoning behind that?
So banks are, inherently risk averse.
Right.
They want to see evidence of market demand before they're willing to lend, large sums of money for a project.
Right.
So pre-sales, or selling units off the plan, provides that evidence.
Okay.
So by securing a certain percentage of pre-sales, often 20% or more, developers can basically demonstrate to the lenders that there's genuine buyer interest.
Okay, so it's like a confidence booster for the bank.
Exactly.
Because these people are actually willing to put money down on something that doesn't even exist yet.
It reduces their risk.
Right.
And increases their confidence in the project.
Got it.
Yeah.
But it seems tricky to convince buyers to commit to something.
It can be.
That they can't actually see or touch, right?
Right.
So what are some strategies for effectively marketing?
Well, I think the biggest thing is
these off-the-plan developments.
Yeah, helping buyers to really visualize that finished product.
Right.
So that involves using high-quality renders.
Okay.
Which are, those computer-generated images.
Yeah.
That showcase, all the design features and stuff.
Right.
And it allows buyers to get a really good sense of what those finished spaces will look like.
So it's like those virtual tours you see for vacation rentals.
Yeah.
But even more detailed.
Exactly. More detailed, more immersive.
Okay, cool.
And then in addition to those renders, developers often create these really detailed materials boards that showcase the actual finishes that'll be used in construction.
Okay.
So buyers can actually see and touch the flooring samples, the cabinet finishes, the countertop materials.
Oh, cool.
And they can really get a feel for like the quality and aesthetic.
It's like bringing the vision to life.
Exactly.
Even before the first brick is laid.
Yes, absolutely.
The guide also talks about the importance of understanding your target market.
Huge.
Who are you actually trying to attract?
You got to know who you're selling to.
Right.
What are their needs, their lifestyle preferences?
Yeah, their budget.
Their budget range,
Right.
All that stuff should inform every aspect of your marketing strategy.
Right. You wouldn't advertise denture cream to teenagers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You need to tailor your message
Got it.
to the people you're trying to reach.
Yeah, so location plays a role,
Yeah.
not just in the development itself, but in how you market it.
Absolutely.
Okay, and then as far as like
Yeah.
the marketing channels themselves,
Yeah.
the guide mentions a shift towards digital marketing.
Right. Yeah, that's huge now.
Which makes sense. We all spend so much time online.
Everybody's online.
So
Yeah.
what are some of the...
So a dedicated website for the project is essential.
Okay.
That's like your central hub
Okay.
for information. You know, you're going to showcase your renders there,
Mm-hmm.
floor plans, pricing details,
Okay.
even allow people to like register their interest.
Okay.
Social media is huge.
Social media, yeah.
Platforms like Instagram, Facebook, even TikTok. Those are really effective for reaching potential buyers,
Okay.
especially younger demographics.
Okay.
And it allows developers to really showcase like the lifestyle associated with the development,
Right.
highlighting nearby amenities, community events,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Creating a sense of place.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
And don't forget about video,
Oh, video. Yeah.
virtual tours,
Yeah.
3D walkthroughs,
Yeah, those are cool.
super popular,
Yeah.
allowing potential buyers to really experience the space
Right.
as if they were actually there.
Cool.
Um,
It sounds like marketing a development these days
A lot.
requires a lot of creativity
yeah.
and a deep understanding of the target audience.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's say the marketing's working.
Okay, great.
Pre-sales are rolling in.
Yeah.
Construction's underway.
Oh.
Everything's moving
I
along.
love it.
But we need to think about what happens
Okay.
once the development is actually finished. So the guide talks about having an exit strategy.
Very important.
What are the main
Yeah.
options that developers typically consider?
Okay, so the three primary exit strategies are selling,
Okay.
holding,
Yeah.
or a combination of both.
Okay.
And the best option really depends
Yeah.
on a lot of different factors,
Okay.
including, you know, the developer's financial goals,
Right.
their risk tolerance, market conditions.
So if the goal is to make a quick profit and move on to the next project,
Yeah.
selling all the units as soon as they're built
Yep.
might be the way to go.
That's often the most appealing option,
Yeah.
especially if it's a strong market.
Right.
Demand is high, prices are rising.
Okay.
But you also got to keep in mind that
Yes.
selling triggers capital gains tax.
Right.
So you'd have to factor that in
I forgot
to
it.
your profit calculations.
What about developers who are looking to like build long-term wealth
Yeah.
and create passive income?
Yeah. So for them,
Yeah.
holding some or all of those units as rental properties might be a better strategy. So rental income can provide a nice steady cash flow.
Right.
And if you own property over time, obviously,
Yeah.
you benefit from that potential appreciation.
Right.
There's also tax advantages to owning rental properties,
Okay.
such as, you know, deductions for expenses related to
Okay.
property management, repairs, mortgage interest.
Right. But holding properties also comes with like responsibilities.
Responsibilities. Yes.
Right. You're essentially becoming a landlord.
That's right.
So
yeah.
dealing with tenants, maintenance issues.
Yeah. So it's not completely passive.
Right.
It requires some time and effort.
Got it. So it sounds like there's a lot to weigh when deciding
There is.
on an exit strategy.
Big decision.
The guide doesn't offer like a one-size-fits-all solution,
Not at all.
but it does.
It gives you, provides some
Yeah.
valuable food for thought.
Yeah.
Things to consider.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be
Right.
all or nothing.
Exactly.
You can sell some units,
Yeah.
hold some units.
Yeah, create a diversified portfolio
Okay.
that combines, you know,
Short-term,
short-term profits with long-term.
long-term investments.
Yeah, exactly.
This idea of flexibility seems to be like a recurring theme
Yeah.
in property development.
Yeah, for sure.
It's all about being adaptable
Absolutely.
and responsive to the changing conditions.
Yeah, it's rarely a linear,
Right.
predictable process.
Right.
You have to be agile, resourceful.
Yeah. Now, before we jump into the final part of
Okay.
the deep dive,
Yeah.
I want to circle back to
Okay.
something we touched on earlier,
Yeah.
which is due diligence.
Due diligence.
Our
So
real kids.
the guide
Very important.
emphasizes that conducting thorough due diligence,
Yeah.
especially during site selection,
Yep.
is paramount.
Absolutely essential. So it's about minimizing risk
Yeah.
by thoroughly investigating
Yeah, like you're a detective.
every aspect of the potential development site.
Yeah, before you commit.
Uncovering any potential red flags before you
see.
commit to that purchase.
Yeah.
So what are some of the...
So location, as we said,
Yeah.
is still king.
Okay.
But it's not just about finding a desirable area.
Mm-hmm.
It's about understanding, like, the zoning regulations.
Right, yeah.
The allowable land uses any development overlays that might, restrict what you can build.
Right.
And just the potential impact of surrounding properties on your project.
Okay, so it's like doing a background check on the property.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Make sure there's no skeletons in the closet.
Right.
That could come back to haunt you.
Oh, okay.
And you also want to carefully analyze the physical characteristics of the site. So the size and shape of the lot, the slope of the land, soil conditions, availability of utilities, access to transportation.
Yeah.
All those things can impact the feasibility and profitability of the development.
Like, property development is a very complex puzzle.
It is.
With all these pieces needing to fit together.
It is. It's like a big jigsaw puzzle.
Yeah.
And due diligence is about making sure all those pieces fit together.
This has been really eye-opening for me.
I'm glad.
It's given me a whole new appreciation.
Yeah, it's a lot to take in.
For the complexities of property development.
For sure.
So we've covered a ton of information.
We have.
But I think there's still one more key concept from the guide.
All right.
That I want to unpack in the final part of our exploration.
Okay, I'm excited.
So we've explored a lot of the practical nuts and bolts of property development, but I want to circle back to something from the ultimate guide that really stuck with me. It said, property development is all about becoming comfortable with being uncomfortable.
It is, yeah.
And I think that speaks volumes about what it takes to really succeed in this field.
Mindset is everything.
Yeah, and it's easy to get like swept up in the excitement of, creating something new, seeing your vision come to life.
Yeah.
But the guide doesn't shy away from the fact that it is a risky business.
It's incredibly risky.
Yeah,
so many variables at play.
Right, like market.
Yeah, market fluctuations.
Unexpected costs.
Unexpected costs.
Regulatory hurdles.
Yeah, just the sheer complexity of managing a large-scale project.
It's like that old saying, the only constant is change.
Absolutely.
And I think that's something that a lot of people don't quite grasp.
They underestimate that.
When they're first thinking about getting into property development.
Yeah, they focus on the rewards, the profit, the recognition, the satisfaction of building something.
Yeah.
But they don't always fully grasp that level of risk.
The guide makes it very clear this is not a path for the faint of heart.
Not at all.
It requires
a lot of grit.
Yeah, grit, determination. The ability to bounce back from setbacks.
Yeah, you're going to have setbacks, guaranteed.
And it's not just, financial risk. There's also like an emotional component to it, right?
Absolutely. You're putting your heart and soul into these projects. Your time, your energy, your creative vision. It can be really challenging.
Yeah.
When things don't go as planned.
So you have to have the mental and emotional fortitude to kind of...
You got to be tough.
Weather those storms.
Yeah, be able to roll with the punches.
And keep moving forward.
And learn from your mistakes, too.
Right. So that's why the guide emphasizes, like, cultivating the right mindset from the outset.
Yeah, successful developers, they're not just experts in finance and construction. They're also masters of their own psychology.
It's almost like property development is a form of, like, personal development.
It is, yeah.
You're not just building structures. You're building, like...
You're building resilience.
Resilience, problem-solving skills.
Exactly. Tolerance for ambiguity.
Yeah. So what advice would you give to someone who's, listening to this?
Yeah.
Feeling both excited and maybe a little intimidated?
I would say embrace the discomfort.
Okay.
Don't let fear hold you back.
Okay.
Do your research, learn from experienced developers, build a strong team of advisors, and just approach every decision with, careful consideration and a healthy dose of optimism.
And you don't have to jump in the deep end right away.
No, start small.
Maybe partner with someone.
Exactly, yeah.
More experienced.
Yeah, learn the ropes.
Take on a smaller project.
Yeah, build your confidence.
Make your feet wet a little bit.
There's lots of different paths into property development.
Okay, I think we've covered pretty much everything from this.
I think so.
Amazing guide.
Yeah, it's a great guide.
We've gone from the initial spark of an idea all the way through.
All the way to the finish line.
Celebrating a completed project.
Absolutely.
What a journey.
What a journey.
So, For those of you who
Yeah.
are now feeling inspired
Yeah.
to maybe dip your toes into the world of property development,
Yeah.
we'll leave you with this one final thought.
Okay.
What type of property development project are you most drawn to? And what's one action you can take this week
Love it.
to move closer to making that dream a reality? Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.
See you next time.